So hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Java Guru Ravi, and I Ravi Khan Sahu welcome you in this new video. So let's get started. Hello everybody, so today's video we are going to discuss this keyword. So basically two special keywords are provided in the Java library. One is this keyword and second is super keyword. So what is the concept of this and super keyword? Basically this keyword is basically in storing the current object reference, and similarly super keyword is holding the parent class object reference. So what I mean to say is, let us suppose you are inside any block of your class. Let's say you are inside a method, or you are inside a constructor, or you are inside anonymous block. So inside any block of your class, if you want to use the object of that particular class, so that particular object is contained, or you can say it is stored in this keyword. Even if you are not having the object reference, you can access it using the this keyword. Similarly, in any scope like method, constructor, or some non-static block, if you want to use the object of the parent class, then you need not to create the object of parent class. You can use it with the help of super keyword, because super keyword is going to contain the object of the parent class. So simple concept is there. If you need to use the object of the parent class, you can use super instead of creating a new object. Similarly, if you want to use the object of the current class, then you can use the this keyword. So here comes a very important concept, that this and super keyword, please make a note of this, this and super keyword can only be used inside the static, inside the non-static scope. Non-static scope means you can use it inside the non-static methods, you can use it inside the constructor because constructor is non-static, you can use it inside the anonymous block, but you cannot use this inside any static block. You cannot use this or super inside the static method. So in the static scope, the use of this and super is strictly prohibited. And what is the reason here? The reason is very clear. When you are having some non-static method or a constructor, so definitely if that method or constructor is getting called, so definitely somebody might be calling with the help of the object. So it is guaranteed that the object is already created, and whosoever is calling that method or a constructor, the object is created, so the calling object will be contained in the this keyword. But if you are inside the static method, so it might be possible that anybody who is calling that static method has not created any object of your class, because static methods can be called by the name of the class. So let's say you are calling that static method with the class name. So if the class name is used to call the static method, so it means the object of that class is not existing, and in that case this will not be having any reference held over there. That's why this and super are not allowed inside the static scope. Reason is quite clear, that in the static scope it might be possible that the object is not created till now, but when you are inside the non-static block, it means this block is executed because it is called. A method is called, then only you are executing it. So whosoever is calling some non-static method will definitely call it by the object. So definitely object is created. So the calling object is captured, it is contained in the this keyword, right? So let us understand the use of this keyword. There are two uses of this keyword. The first use is in resolving the name conflict between the instance variable and the local variable. So let us understand this. So let us take the example of this class demo. So here we have a class demo, and here we are having two instance variables, num and string name. and here I am creating this block. Now can you tell me what is this? This is a constructor or a method? I have created this void demo, and is it a constructor or a method? You can think about. So simple answer is this is a method. Why? Because it is having a return type. So first of all, whenever you are confused between the constructor and method, you can check whether it is having any return type or not. If there is a return type, doesn't matter what the name is, it is going to be a method. So demo is a method. Now the question can be there कि demo is a method, but demo is the name of the class and it must be a constructor. No. If it is a constructor, then there is no return type. Right? If there is a return type, then method can have any name. It can have same name as that of class also. But if there is no return type, it means it should be a constructor, and constructor is always having same name as that of your class. So if you remove it, then it will become a constructor, but if you keep it here, it is a method. Right? So this is your demo method. This is a method. Now this method is receiving two parameters. One is string n and second one is int num. So I want to assign these values to these instance variables. Right? I am receiving some value n. So this n I want to assign to name. Similarly, here I am receiving num. So I want to assign this num to num. So first of all, if you see here, how to assign n to name? So definitely what you will write here is name is equal to n, because I want to assign this value to this variable. So you can write name is equal to n. You know, right side value is getting assigned to the left side of variable. Very simple. So I want to assign this one. So I will write it in the right side. To whom I want to assign? To I want to assign this name. So I will write here name is equal to n. Well and good, because there is no name conflict. Now the second thing is I want to assign this num to this num. Now there is a name conflict. So what I could have written here? I could have written here num is equal to num. I will be saying that this num is referring to this and this num is referring to this. Right? I want to assign this value to this one, so I could have written here num is equal to this num. But this is a name conflict. When you will write like this, so there is a name conflict between this local variable. This is your local variable and this is your instance variable. Right? So there is a name conflict between the local variable and instance variable. So if you will write like this, it will not give you any compilation error. It will not give you any compilation error, and that is the biggest problem. If you get a compilation error, you can resolve it, but this situation will leave you in a trouble. So what is the problem here is, when you write this thing, when this code will be executed, so at the runtime it will say num. So the concept says कि in any scope local variable dominates. In any scope the local variable dominates. What it means? That if you say num, so which num will be accessed? This num, because this is a local variable. So it will dominate, it will say yes sir. So this num will say yes sir. And then it will say num is equal to num. Again it will say yes sir. So it means the same value will be assigned to itself. The value of this num is assigned to this num itself. So it is assigned to this one itself. So what value will be assigned to this num? You wanted to assign this value, but it will not be getting this value. It will get some default value here, because this is an instance variable. Right? So I hope you understood the problem first. The problem is there is a name conflict. So in case of name conflict between the local variable and instance variable, you have to resolve the name conflict, otherwise local variable value will be assigned to the local variable itself. So how to resolve the name conflict? Which one you want to resolve? This num, you expect this num to be here, but this num you want to make it this one available here. So what I will say? This one is the member of the class. This is an instance variable. So how you can refer the instance variable? Using the object reference. but you don't have the object, because anybody who is calling this demo method, I have created here. I have created this main function. Here I have created the object of this demo. Why I am creating the object of this demo? Because I want to call this demo method. So how anybody will call this demo method? Anybody who want to call this demo method will have to create the object of this class. So I have created the object of demo class OB, and then I will call OB dot demo, and I have to pass the parameters. Let's say I am passing here Ravi and number is 10. So I will be calling this. So here it will receive Ravi and here it will receive 10. Now I want to assign this value. So how I will assign this? Now I told you this thing. When you are calling this demo method, so definitely you are using some object reference. So you can see that this calling object will be contained in this keyword, because whenever this demo method is called, definitely some object is used here, but this object is present here. Can I write here ob.num? Can I write here ob.num? No. This ob is present in this class. So in this class, if it is present, so I cannot use it here. So how I will get this value accessed num? I have to create a new object? No, I will not create a new object. I will say this method is called by some object, so its object reference is held in this keyword. This keyword will be holding that OB. So what I will be using here is, instead of OB, I will write here this. I will write here this. And this is the use of this. Right? I don't know what is the object reference here, but I know that whosoever is calling the object method here, instance method, non-static methods, that will definitely use some object. So its object I don't know, but this keyword will be there to capture that object of that caller here. So I can use here this. I don't know about OB, but this is there to help you out in this situation. Right? So this is how this keyword is help you to resolve the name conflict between the instance variable and the local variable. The second thing you can be asked, if it is a static one, let's say it is a static variable num, then can you write here this? This is interesting question. Can you write here this? If this is a static member, conceptually I told you instance variable and local variable name conflict. Now this is a class variable. Obviously if you will write like this, so this is a problem. Num is equal to num, same name conflict between the local variable and class variable. But do we need this keyword to resolve this conflict? We don't need this keyword to resolve this conflict, because this is a class variable. So how I can refer this class variable? By the name of the class. I could have written here demo.num, right? So this keyword is not required to resolve a name conflict between the class variable and local variable. Not required. For that this is not required. The reason being, the class variable can be referred by the class name. No problem. I will refer by the class name, like here I am referring it by the class name demo.num. Problem solved. But can I write here this .num? Is it a problem? Interviewer can ask you. So yes, this is not a problem. This is also correct. Because I told you that class variable is shared by every object. So even if I try to access this class variable by this keyword, it will say, okay, you can access me. Right? So this .num can be used for static variable also, but it is not meant for that. It is only required, it is only solution in case of instance variable. For static variable you have two solutions. Either you use this keyword or you use the class name. Both are possible. Right? So this is your first use of this keyword, that is resolving the name conflict between the instance variable and the local variable. Right? Second use of this keyword is constructor chaining. So generally if I talk about the constructor, so you have already studied that constructor is called whenever you create the object, and normally when you create one object, so only one constructor will be called, right? But there is a concept of constructor chaining within the same class using this keyword. So now I am going to create some constructors here. So let's say in this demo class I am creating some constructor. So this is your constructor. How you can say this is a constructor? No return type plus name must be same as that of class. So this is a constructor, right? So now this is your constructor which is taking integer type of parameter. This constructor is okay. One constructor I have created. Now second constructor I am creating here. Second constructor I have created here. This is constructor overloading because I am creating more than one constructor, so changing the parameter list. So this is constructor overloading. Can I create third constructor also? Obviously I can create the third constructor also. As many as you want, you can create it. So this is how I have created three constructors in my class. Now let's say I am creating the object of this class here. Demo OB is equal to new demo. So new demo, this is the call out to the constructor. This is your constructor call. So here if you do not pass anything, so what will be the output? Obviously this constructor will be called because I am not passing any parameter. So this constructor will be called and it will print Guru, right? If I pass here some value, let's say 5. So 5 means I am passing some integer parameter. So it will check for the int type of constructor. It will call this one and it will print Ravi. Third time I said okay, I have to pass here A in the string type. So it will look for a constructor with the string type. This constructor will be called. So the point here is when you create one object, so definitely only one constructor will be called. The one which will be matching to the argument you are passing. But I want to invoke multiple constructors with a single object. If I say okay, I have to call these two constructors. So how you will do this? You will say two objects we need to create. One with int type of parameter, one with string type of parameter. But I am saying okay, no. I want to create only one object, but I feel that this constructor along with this constructor should be called. So what we do here? So here we will use the concept of constructor chaining. So what is the constructor chaining concept? Constructor chaining says that from one constructor of your class you can call the another constructor of your class again. So how you will do this? You will use the concept of this keyword. So the first important point in the constructor chaining is that inside the constructor, this must be the first statement. Which one? Constructor call. Means let's say here I am calling this constructor. So which constructor will be called? This constructor will be called. Now if from this constructor I want to call this constructor, so what you can do here is you can write here this like this. This is a call to the constructor. This is constructor call. It is not the previous version where I am writing this dot num is equal to num. That is separate thing. This is a constructor call because we are writing the parenthesis here. And in the parenthesis you have to pass the parameters that you want to call. So which one you want to call? You want to call this one, so you will pass nothing. If you want to access this one, so you can pass some integer value. Let's say I am passing here 2. So means from here I created one object. So this constructor is called, and when this constructor is called, from here I am calling the constructor with integer type of parameter. It means this constructor is called. Now what will be the output? So the output will be, you can see from here the call goes here, and from here the call goes to this constructor. Have it is it printing Java right now? No, because it is going to the next constructor. It will print Ravi, and then this constructor is completed. It will come back to the caller. It will print this remaining portion Java. So it will print Ravi Java. Right? Can I change from here to this third constructor also? So the answer is yes. What you will write here? You will write here something like this. This and no parameter constructor, so I will write like this. Okay? So this is how you can change this. But the point that I told you, it cannot be the statement other than the first statement. The call to the constructor must be the first statement. You cannot write this. If you write this, it will give you compilation error. Right? So what you will write here? You will write the same thing, but it must be written as a first statement in your constructor. Right? This is what I told you. The call to the constructor using this or super must be the first statement in your constructor. Again, call to the constructor, not this dot num is equal to num and this dot name is equal to name. Right? So here now what I am doing is I am chaining all three constructors. Means from string type we are calling the int type, and from the int type we are calling the no argumented. So what will be the output? You can see here string type is called, from here int type is called, from here it is calling the no argumented. So it will print here Guru, then it will come back to the caller, it will print Ravi, then it will come back to the caller, it will print Java. So the output will be Guru, Ravi, Java. Right? So in this case all the three constructors are called with a single object. It is not possible in the normal scenario. Now there are two important things. Whenever you are doing the constructor chaining, you must ensure that there is no loop created over there. There is no loop created over there. If there is a looping between the among the constructors, then it will give you a compilation error, recursive constructor invocation. Let us understand what I mean to say here. Suppose I am calling here the constructor of string type, right? So string type is called here. Now from string type, let's say I want to call integer type. So I'll write here this with some integer value. So from here we are calling to this one, and from here I said let us call to this one. So what I'll write here? You will write here this with some string type, let's say Ravi. So from here we are calling to this one. So you can see here we have got a loop. This is calling this one and this is calling this one. So this is going to be an infinite loop. So this is not allowed. This is a compilation error, recursive constructor invocation. Right? So this is not allowed. You will be given with some compilation error if you are trying to create this kind of constructor chaining. Right? So first thing is clear. You should not create any kind of loop in your constructor chaining. Second thing is, it is quite obvious that you cannot put this as a constructor call in every constructor of your class. As soon as you will put this in every constructor, it will definitely create a loop. Right? So all the constructors will not have this statement in the constructors. Right? That's why it gives you a scope to put a super. The compiler will introduce a super so that the object of the parent class can be created before the creation of the object of child class. Right? Second important concept I am discussing here is regarding the constructor chaining. It is saying that, let's say in this case I want to get the output Java Guru Ravi. I want to create one object and I want to get the output Java Guru Ravi. So how the constructor chaining should be done? So very simple concept is there. Whatever output you want, you should call it in the reverse order, because it is going to execute in the reverse order, right? So whatever output you want, you have to call in the reverse order. What I want here is again output. I want the output Java Guru Ravi. So first output I want is Java. So this Java must be called at the end. What you want to call at the print at the end? Ravi. So it should be called first. So from here what you will call? You will have to call the constructor which is printing Ravi. So which one is printing Ravi? Int type. So I will call here an int type of constructor. Int type is called. Now from int type what you want? Ravi I have taken care. Now what I want is Guru. So from here you have to call the constructor with Guru. So this is no argumented constructor. So from here I have to chain with the no argumented constructor. Right? So I have taken care of Guru also. Now I will have to print Java. So here no argument is called. Now here I want to call the constructor with Java. It means this one. So this is string type. So I will chain it with the string type. This some string. Right? So it will call this one. So this is how you can print some output. Like let us understand the flow. From here you are calling int type. So it will go here. It will call the int type. From here it is calling the no argumented. So it will go here. Here it is calling the string type. So it will go here. It will print Java. It will come back. It will print Guru. Then it will come back to the caller. It will print Ravi. So the output will be Java Guru Ravi. Right? So this is all about the this keyword, which is two uses. This is used to resolve the name conflict between the local variable and instance variable. Second one is this is used to chain the constructors within the same class. Right? So that's all for today. Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you find this video useful, so please like, subscribe and share with all of your friends so that they can also get benefited. Ravikant Sahu signing off. Thank you.